Okay, Dale, we are letting people are starting to enter the room quickly, and we should be ready.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of Innovation Insights, fourth edition of this year. It's amazing how fast the year has flown by so far. You know, spring has sprung almost everywhere now in the northern hemisphere. So, looking forward to a great couple of months coming up, and I'll go into that a little bit more. Just for those of you that may be new to IACMI, we organize around the theme of convene, connect, and catalyze, bringing folks together, connecting to each other, and then making things happen through a lot of various opportunities, whether that's our working groups, co-funding of projects, the networking that occurs, and sometimes those happen in a formal setting, in a formal process, and sometimes, they happen just between companies getting together and finding a way to make business with each other. And we've got lots of examples of those over the years. So if you're on this call and you're not an IACMI member, real easy to get started. You go to acme.org under members. You can fill out a quick information form, and then we'll be right back to you with the application to become a member. So last month I was still talking about saving the date for the IACMI members meeting. Our 10th anniversary is coming up this year, and we will be having that in Dayton. So registration is open for our members there. It is free if you are a member. That's one of the benefits of being an IACMI member is free attendance for your company to come to that. We've got great program scheduled for that. And next month's Innovation Insights will have Mark Morrison, our VP of Communications, provide a preview of that. Just a reminder that all of our Innovation Insights webinars are stored on our IACMI website. So we are recording this and all the previous ones as well. And so we've got 40 episodes since 2021, featuring 110 members and partners. So if there's something that you thought you might have missed, want to go back and review, you can. If there's something you see from this show today that you want to share with your colleagues, within a couple of days, it'll be up on our website, and then they can go straight there and see it. Have some some upcoming Innovation Insights webinars. So the next one will be Monday, May 12th at noon. I think we've got 2 of the 3 speakers lined for that. So there's still 1 slot available. We're working on filling that. And then we will skip June because that's the month of our members meeting, and we won't hold Innovation Insights then, but back at it in July and August. So those are the dates there. So we have presenter slots available for those. Again, reminder that to be able to be a presenter on Innovation Insights, you have to be a member. Although to attend and witness the webinar, you do not. So it's open to everybody there. But to be a presenter, you have to be an IACMI member. Nice reminder here, and you're going to hear more about SAMPI in Indianapolis coming up. I am based in Indianapolis. It's a fantastic town. If you've not spent time here, you're missing out. Just so happens that's also the week before the Indianapolis 500. So there will be a lot of activity going on in town. So it will be, the town will be hopping at that time. And then IACMI will be at booth M15. We'll also, and I know Raj and Jennifer are going to talk a little bit more about this, but we also have a stepped up presence there. Our Spotlight Theater, My IACMI Impact Story, featuring a number of our members, and quick vignettes of what IACMI has meant to them here in our 10th anniversary year in the Spotlight Theater on the show floor, open to everybody. And then a smart manufacturing and composites session on Wednesday afternoon, again, open to all attendees, regardless of your badge type, where we'll be looking for industry input on identifying priority research to help advance smart manufacturing and composites. So today we've got a great lineup with three groups of presenters, EarthEn Energy, Fiberglass, and SAMPI. We will start with Manas Pathak. He's the CEO of EarthEn Energy. So I will stop sharing, and Manas, you can, as soon as I can get to it and try to stop sharing, you can load up yours. There we go.
Can you all see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, ready to go?
Okay, just before you get started, just if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A or in the chat box, and we'll try to get to those as quickly as we can. And if not, we'll answer them afterward. So off to you.
Great, thank you. I'll quickly start with the intros here. So my name is Manas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of EarthEn.
Can you put it back into slideshow mode?
Yes.
Switch screens or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. I have a PhD in chemical engineering MBA. Between 2 degrees, I spent 7 years at Intel, where I was doing leading their initiatives in the energy sector. That's how I got into renewable energy with fossil fuel background. From my PhD days, I kind of understood energy transition is happening and wanted to be the entrepreneur, wanted to be an entrepreneur in the space of energy transition. That led us to applying for Innovation Crossroad program, which is out of Oak Ridge National Lab, and that's how we are part of the beautiful Knoxville ecosystem. Through Innovation Crossroad, we are a part of their 2023 cohort. It's been a year and a half since we've been working with Oak Ridge National Lab. With me is my CTO. He is my PhD peer, Dr. Palash. He's also a PhD in chemical engineering. And we have a lot of advisors that are helping us every step of the way. So left-hand side is very technical focused advisors, right-hand side, very business focused advisors. With that, let's go to what we do. So EarthEn, our mission is electrification, and we use carbon dioxide to do that. Why energy transition is still in transition? Like people are aware of the fact that solar is only, sun is only active in the daytime, and wind is not always active either. So when the times during the times when sun is not shining or wind is not blowing, what do we do? How do we power our grid, power your factory floors, your homes using clean electricity? And that's where energy storage comes in. We are, in energy storage, we capture the renewable energy when sun is shining, wind is blowing, and then give it back to the grid, to your home, to your factory floors when sun and wind is not active. But when we talked to our customers, the demand was not just energy storage solution, but the demand was having a flexible duration energy storage. What does it mean is, because the grid is changing, our customers were asking for something that can do short durations today, like 4 hours, 6 hours of energy storage, but can also scale to a longer duration energy storage, like tens of hours in the future as grid becomes more renewable in the US. And so being chemical engineers, we just put together a new thermodynamic cycle, because thermodynamics is what we know well. A new thermodynamic cycle that can do just that, provide flexible energy storage duration. In very simple terms, when sun is shining, wind is blowing, we compress, we use that excess electricity or cheap electricity from renewables and compress CO2 from liquid to supercritical. So with this compression, heat is generated. That heat is captured in the TES system, thermal energy storage system, and then we sit tight. This is what we do in the daytime when sun is shining. In the nighttime, just the other way around. The pressurized CO2 comes from the pump, picks up that heat of compression from the daytime, and spins what's called supercritical CO2 turbine, much like how steam turbines were spun back in the day. This is a supercritical CO2 turbine that spins, produce power in a synchronous generation to back to the grid, and it just keeps going in the closed loop cycle. So there's CO2 as a working fluid. It's a closed loop cycle. And this charging and discharging happens through compression and expansion of the CO2 in a round trip efficiency of 75%. That's something we typically do not see in these thermal only systems or mechanical systems. We are able to achieve that 75% round trip efficiency, which is pretty good in our segment. Now, there are many reasons why customers like our product. 30-year lifetime, provides mechanical inertia to the grid, high energy density, because CO2 in supercritical state is almost like liquid water like density. But the most important fact goes back to the problem statement, flexibility in the duration. We can install an 8-hour system and then grow it into a 10-hour system or a 12-hour system by simply stacking more of those vertical orange tanks, these TES system. So if you want to go longer duration, just keep stacking those tanks after you have installed the system. And when we do that, it comes at incremental lower cost compared to stacking like lithium-ion batteries. So example, if you want to buy if you want to have an 8-hour storage through lithium-ion batteries, you just keep stacking lithium-ion batteries, the full system. While in our case, you're just stacking part of the system, which is 1/3 of the capex, and that's why longer you go, better we become in terms of the capex, and that's typically 8-hour or longer. We are better than lithium-ion batteries, so that's what you see on the right-hand graph here. We sell to most typical customer segment that most energy storage companies sell to. I want to point out a few key ones here. Data centers is a new segment, commercial, industrial, and of course the utility providers like TVA in our territory, but also other utilities in the US. What we have done so far, almost, I guess, 20 months back, we showed the science work through a 10 kilowatt setup. Since then, we got funded through Oak Ridge National Lab Innovation Crossroad Program, which is funded by DOE, Department of Energy, Office of Electricity. And so almost $3 million worth of effort is ongoing right now to build a 100 kilowatt system of our overall energy storage device. And this 100 kilowatt system should be up and running by summer here. So in a couple of months, we would see the 100 kilowatt data coming from Oak Ridge National Lab. Once that is done, next milestone would be put together a 1 megawatt or 3 megawatt pilot, which is a field scale demonstration, hopefully somewhere in Tennessee, but could be anywhere in the US or overseas. So that's next milestone once the 100 kilowatt is done. We have $3.5 million non-dilutive capital from NSF, DOE, California, Launch Tennessee in Tennessee, state of Arizona, and $1 million or so in kind support from National Lab. And then Black & Veatch, which is the EPC firm, has been our partner in engineering and design. We operate in large markets. People are aware of that. I'll be short here. But while these markets are large, we saw an opportunity to increase our TAM from just energy storage of electricity to energy storage of heat. So we are in the process of launching our second product this year, which is heat battery. Why would somebody care about heat battery? Turns out the industrial sector is producing 24% of the emissions in the US. And while we are seeing improvement in the other sectors, industrial is not seeing the improvement. Since 2010 to 2020, you can see it's still kind of going up in terms of the emissions it produces. And if you double click on the industrial sector, what you're going to see is this orange graph here is the middle graph, orange colored section. That's just the heat at anywhere from 130 to 500 degrees C is producing 76% of that emission in industrial. So if somehow we can decarbonize this medium temperature heat, which is 76% of the overall industrial emission, we kind of solve some of the big problems in this sector. And we were funded by NSF almost a year back. This is our snapshot for press release to put together that heat battery for our CO₂ system. As we were building that heat battery for CO₂ system, we figured, well, there's a market for just the heat storage. So we are launching this in the fall, where this would be a heat in the box battery, which can produce heat at 200 to 500 degrees C. And we will see the demonstration happening very soon because we were already funded by NSF to do a TRL5 scale demonstration. This was happening at Purdue. And since then, we are now working on a TRL7 pilot demonstration with a customer and a commercial site to launch this commercially late this year, early next year. This is our overall summary of our partners, the pilots, the patents, the grants that we have won, the awards that we have won. Already discussed the team slide, but why am here with IACMI today? Because we need something. We need pressure vessels that are composite pressure vessels. All those orange vertical tanks and the heat batteries, those are pressurized vessels with at least 3 feet diameter and a 6 feet height. They could be bigger, but that's the minimum spec. And we need design pressures at certain levels, a 3,500 PSI level, a 1,500 PSI level, and a 600 PSI level. If there are people in the audience who would like to collaborate in order to provide these pressure vessels, which are composite built, because stainless steel pressure vessels are expensive. And there are other reasons like the weights and stuff in transport that could be a problem. We would love to collaborate with you. With that, please scan this code and reach out to me if you have any question. Thank you so much for your time. I can monitor the chat if there are any questions there, but let me see.
There you go, I'm back. Just wanted to ask you, I got a couple questions, and unfortunately, Kim, I'm not seeing.
There aren't any questions in the chat right now, but I'll let you know if anything pops up.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Now I'm back. I had a couple of questions. One is on those tanks, Hang on, let me go back a bit. What is the footprint of the 100 kilowatt unit, and what would the footprint of the 3 megawatt unit be?
Yeah,
in terms of land space.
You're talking CO2 battery or the heat battery, or kind of both?
Somewhat CO2 battery.
Okay. The CO2 battery, the 100 kilowatt footprint is, think of this as 2 6x6 feet skids coupled together. So 12 by 12 feet. It's happening in Oak Ridge National Lab. We carved out a small space for that. The 3 megawatt system would be a big system as you know, like a field scale demonstration. So typically we say 50 megawatt hour per acre in the initial build, because we want to leave some wiggle room in the initial build to fix things up. First of our kinds are always challenging. So 50 megawatt hour per acre is our footprint. So that could be at a 5 megawatt battery for 10 hours. That's 50 megawatt hour, and that's going to be an acre.
Okay. All right. Then are these meant to be one cycle per day? Or
Correct.
Okay, so in essence, yeah, so it's one round trip per day.
Correct.
Okay.
The economics works well if you do at least a daily cycling or every other day cycling. Yes.
Okay. And so, but you don't have, but the accumulation and the discharge are at relatively slow rates or over multiple hours.
Yes, but we have this special unique capability of having asynchronous or different charge discharge rates, right? So the charging is governed by how big the compressor you have. So we can charge a 10 megawatt hour battery, which is a 1 megawatt 10-hour duration, in like 4 hours or 5 hours, which is the peak sunshine hours, by deploying a larger compressor.
But it's not minutes, it's hours in both cases.
I mean,
but the reason I just talk about is for things like heating and so forth, something of thermal performance that you need. And then
yes, these are
for
great
the tanks themselves, because the composite opportunity here appears to be in the tanks, storage tanks, pressured vessels. Would those have to be, since they're stationary, would they have to be carbon, or could they be fiberglass overwrapped?
Yeah, and so that's where I look up to IACMI members to kind of help me guide the selection of the vessel. But some of the key things that we are seeing is while steel is cheap, the manufacturing is difficult, and that increases the cost of these vessels. So if we can mass manufacture these vessels, I mean, carbon would be fine, but I have to double check with my CTO, and this is part of the reason I'm presenting here, that if there are subject matter experts in the audience here who are pressure vessel experienced people, but also we can reach out to Oak Ridge National Lab for the compatibility with the CO2 molecule to see if there is any problem in the chemistry storing CO2 at high pressure within these vessels. But that's certainly of our interest. We would want not to use stainless steel vessels if possible. Of course, the economics needs to work, but the transport cost and the mass manufacturing potentially would be better off with composite than stainless steel.
Okay. And that would be true also of the heat battery.
Yeah,
Except you don't, in the heat battery, what's the temperature of the storage?
500 degrees C max. As you can see, this is a heat battery prototype at Purdue with NSF funding. This is a tall stainless steel vessel. So heat battery, in summary, is like in a gist, is just this tall tank. And so if we can manufacture these tanks at mass scale in the US instead of stainless steel, which is maybe imported from overseas, or even in the US, the manufacturing is difficult with all the tariffs and everything. So I feel like composite is the way to go, and look forward to like talking to somebody in the audience who knows this more than me.
Okay.
Hi, Dale. There's a question in the Q&A. I don't know if you can see those.
Yeah, I'm unable to see it right now.
You are able?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I can read it if you'd like. From Adam Halsband. Please share more details about the lab system pressure vessels and the vessels you will use for the 100 kilowatt pilot demonstrator.
Yeah, so the vessel that we are using for heat battery 100 kilowatt demonstration, which is the first of a kind pilot that we are working on right now, which you can see here, right? 2025, we are working on TRL-7 pilot. That's exactly a 3 feet dia, 6 feet height, and the design pressures are around 500 PSI, 600 PSI. So we can start here and then slowly, work our way to like higher design pressures.
Okay. So I don't see other questions. So
Manas,
appreciate your.
sorry,
Go
this
ahead.
is Raj. Manas, I was just going to ask, so do you see any applications that are going to be mobile applications with a heat battery?
Yeah, we do see. There are customers such as paint customers who would like to cure their paint somewhere in the offsite, and they would like to take this battery on back of a pickup truck to cure the paint. So yes, definitely, and that's where
Excellent.
composite
So
will play.
not all stationary applications.
Right.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Well, appreciate that, Anas. And I understand you have to bail off probably to go talk to an investor or something, I'm guessing. Well,
Thank you
we
so much.
appreciate you, making your presentation today, and look forward to discussing this with you more.
Yes. Please, I mean, you have my contact, so please reach out if somebody in the audience wants to talk, but I'll also punch my contact here and look forward to talking more about the pressure vessels. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our second presenter is Michelle Bonnet. Michelle is the product procurement and quality lead at Fiberglass, and she's got some great information to share with us with regards to repair technologies, both from the chemistry side as well as the manufacturing side. Michelle, if you're able to share your screen, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
It's all yours.
In case anybody doesn't know, we are Fiberglass. We have specialized in the distribution of composite materials since 1957. We are in our 68th year providing these materials. So we serve all of the composite industries, including aerospace and aviation, wind energy, education, automotive, marine, construction, are just to name a few. Our tagline is we provide our customers with what they need, when and where they need it. So our product portfolio includes reinforcements, carbon fiber, fiberglass, aramid materials. They're all certified. We don't purchase seconds. All of our reinforcement materials are sourced in the US. We carry resins and coatings, polyester, vinyl ester, epoxy, and UV resins, gel coats, epoxy surface coats, urethane coatings, foam and sandwich core, such as PVC, PET, balsa, CUSA, honeycomb. You've got it, you know, you name it, we've pretty much got it, as well as all of our vacuum bagging materials. So release films, peel plies, bagging, tapes, anything through there. We do carry AeroVac and AirTech materials, as well as tools and safety equipment such as heat blankets, hot bonders, fabric racks, NIST certified test equipment, any of the safety supplies. So this is just kind of across the board. We like to be a one-stop shop for the composite industry. Our biggest niche in the market is small quantities fast. So we really cater to prototyping, small run manufacturing, as well as repair. What I'm here to talk to you guys about today are two of kind of our innovative products that have just been up and coming. One of them, or the first one, is going to be the Sunres UV curing resins and patches. Sunres has been around for many, many years and using this UV technology. They've got UV activated curing resins and the composite patches. So there's no mixing or metering required. These materials are already saturated with the UV resin and they cure in minutes from the sun, as well as we do carry a substantial UV curing light to give you kind of a more, you know, just an assurance that it's cured. So you get fast curing times, right? It fully cures in sunlight or UV light within minutes. You can do up to 10 layers of the UV prepregs, and the prepregs that we offer are 300 millimeter by 700 millimeter patches, as well as we will be carrying by the 50-inch roll, selling by the yard, these prepreg materials. So the ease of use, right? There's no catalyst. It's clean. It's simple application. It is just a one component system that you can either purchase the resin separate, buy these patches that are already conveniently prepregged, or you can pre-impregnate your own fiberglass material. Shelf stability, it's got a very long shelf life under dark storage. So all of our stuff is going to come either covered or in black containers. You're just wanting to make sure that you don't get any type of light that would emit any type of UV, because it will cure. And then portability. It's ideal for field repairs, especially in remote applications, because again, you're just carrying a one component system, or you're carrying a prepreg that's already got everything on there. You're removing the films, applying the patch very easily. And then it's environmentally friendly. There are no VOCs. There's no HAPs in this formulation. Everything is, you know, has been taken out of it with all of the strength properties maintained. So some of the applications for the Sunres UV patches, anything, just a quick structural repair. So wind blade repair, boats, drones, and UAVs, fiberglass components, composite tooling, really is perfect for field technicians and emergency repair kits. Probably the largest benefit to UV resins is their ability to cure no matter what the temperature is. So we're talking anywhere from -20°C up to, you know, some of the way higher temps where it's hot outside and these resins can cure in minutes. Really, the only difference is that this requires that sunlight to cure. So it doesn't matter if you're in a high humidity environment or if you're in very cold temperatures or very hot temperatures, this is going to cure as soon as that sun hits it or that UV light is exposed. The other product I wanted to talk to you guys about are a company called M-Square based out of Germany asked us to carry their heat bonders. And this is more for wind and aerospace or aviation applications. The hot bonders that are out there and available, they're just kind of lacking a little bit of technology, right? So these M-Square guys have an app that hooks to it goes to your phone or your laptop. It allows you to do all of your programming on your computer or your phone or your laptop. So you can do multiple schedules. You can give certain users access to these schedules. in a capability or a way that they can't mess anything up. So if you've got your main leader putting in all of your schedules for specific repairs, they would then allow the technician to just see what they have available and choose one. Or you can turn on the machine and it is already set to a specific one, and all they have to do is put everything together and click it on. So some of the core features of this, I think you can see the photo there. It's the SkyBonder Pro, which is the big guy. Has over 24 thermal couplers available, as well as 3 zones, and the ability for vacuum integration. So you could do everything from this one box. It has multiple zone control, and it's got a portable feel to it. It does come in one of those big cases that you could use. The benefits are ensuring accurate, readable, repeatable composite curing, compatible with prepregs and adhesive bondings, and it is trusted by the aerospace and field repair professionals. So I did kind of talk about one of the differences, which is the app. You can see here a photo of the SkyBonder Lite, which is a little more portable. It is a 1 zone, so very easy to just plug it up, get going with the app, and then you're out the door. So the biggest thing on here, and I don't know if you saw, but there is no thermal printer. You have a USB port to hook to an external printer, or you can email the PDF direct to who needs to have it, either to yourself or to whoever you're reporting to that needs to have all of that data. You now have a PDF form, so no thermal receipts that you have to worry about technicians losing or anything like that. The other benefit to an M² hot bonder is recalibration. There is no more sending it to the manufacturer, waiting weeks or months to get that machine calibrated and back out into service. What you're going to see now is a self-calibration mode. So we actually send a unit to you with full instructions on how to recalibrate. It gets sent direct to M² in Germany, and they recertify and give you all the certifications back for your machine. And you have to do that, they recommend once a year. So, there's really virtually no downtime. It's just going to be whoever can sit there, recalibrate, we're talking days instead of months. So, and then, the silicone heat blankets have, there's an innovation with them regarding the wires that are in those silicone blankets. You can actually roll those blankets up. The wires in there are guaranteed for life, not to break. So how you handle the heat blankets, it's not so much as being careful. So if you're out in the field or out in training facilities, or even just out in hangars where you're using this and grabbing those products, there's just a little bit more to how you're able to handle them without breaking all of those wires. So what's the difference between us and other providers out there? We are a trusted supplier with decades of experience. We're industry-leading customer support. We go through the IACMI to have all of our technical support, composite technician trained. So we work hard to make sure that everybody that answers the phone can answer some questions for you. Orders placed by 2:30 will ship same day. So we do try very hard to get every order that comes out. We understand how critical some of these things can be and make sure that we get them out the door. Certifications with every order. There are no additional fees. You get all the certifications. So with aviation, if there's a mil spec, if there's a Boeing spec, we do try and meet all of those. You do not have to pay extra for them. All of our reinforcements are certified right out the door. And then our innovative partnerships with brands like Sunres, M², Sairtex, Sika, all to name a few. They trust us to carry their products and represent them well in the US. And so we do try our best just to make sure that we have everything out there. for you guys. So I just wanted to share with you just some of the things that we enjoy, you know, that we work hard to keep for our customers, and try and stay within that, you know, innovation with composites. So I appreciate your guys' time. Ooh.
Thank you, Michelle.
Mhm.
So, couple questions. Where are you located, and do you have multiple distribution locations?
Ooh. So we're located in Brookville, Ohio.
The Cleveland
that is-
area, right?
Yes, that is
Mhm.
our, we're just northwest of Dayton. That is
Okay. Oh,
our,
that's right.
that is where we ship from. So we don't have any other warehouses currently.
But you ship nationally.
Yes,
Right.
we actually ship worldwide. We do have some international customers as well.
Okay. And I didn't see anything that had your website on it.
Yeah, but for some reason that very last slide didn't come through. So we're at fiber. It's www.fiberglass.com.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a photo from the SEMA show there.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to get that through there.
Okay, great. So people know how to reach you, and we appreciate you sharing that with us. Yeah, I presume when somebody's doing a repair, they still obviously have to still do their own vacuum bag underneath the blanket, but it's obviously separate technology. And you provide the materials that anyone would need to vacuum bag as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we carry all
You,
of
you
the
do
vacuum
supply
bags.
consumables, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. It looks like Kim has put your website into the chat, so everybody
Thank
has
you,
it.
Kim.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Michelle. And we'll see you. I'm sure we'll see you at the members meeting. Hopefully see you. Please drop by and see us when you're at SAMPY too.
Yes, for sure, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
No, there's something in the
So,
Q&A too.
oh, there was. Okay.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I get it's an endorsement.
Nice.
From somebody we know. So it's not really a question, but wanted to say that I've been a long-time customer and really enjoy working with fiberglass. I'm a customer professionally and also in my personal hobbies. So,
That's great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
okay. All right. So we come to the third and ultimate presenters, and very excited about SAMPY next month coming to Indianapolis and to the Midwest. And I think it's going to be a great event. Looked at the program and happy to be part of that. But I'm going to introduce Raj Manchanda, who's the CTO, and Jennifer Pelke, who's the Director of Marketing and Communications for SAMPY. And somehow they've decided how they're going to tag team this. So I'm going to turn it over to you two to take us to the top of the hour.
Great. Thank you so much, Dale. So, Jennifer, why don't you briefly go ahead and say who you are and where you came from? Because I think you're new to the SAMPY world.
I am. I'm not that far in, about 6 months in at this point. Jennifer Pelkey, Director of Marketing. I have a event background. I worked for Emerald Expositions and outdoor retailers, so composites, carbon fiber in particular. That comes from my old world as well. And before that, way back at the beginning of my career, I worked for Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
In proposals, and then in executive speech writing and also corporate communication. So I'm getting back to understanding this world and this language. So I'm really looking forward to SAMPY to try out my old new skills.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I think it's
No
nice
problem.
for folks. I think SAMPY is one big family. So as we go on with not only our events, but year-long activities, it's nice for folks to have an idea. Kim, you can go ahead and put our presentation back up and we'll go through it. Let's see. Kim's been great in the background, so we do owe her a round of applause. Thank you, Kim.
Just need to put it in slideshow mode. There we go.
Great, wonderful. Yeah, so we're very excited about being in Dale's neighborhood, in the backyard, and not too far from Michelle to drive in. But Indianapolis is new for Sampi. So it is something different for us. It may not be Southern Cal or Northwest, but we're very excited because I think the reach to the manufacturing world is pretty huge, pretty huge. So you know, you have composites, you got to manufacture. So we're very excited to be in a part of the country where we're going to have access to a lot of the folks who need to be there. Next slide, Kim. And I'll start with Jennifer on this, but you know, we're overall, there are over 140 technical presentations if you count not only the papers, other talks that Jen was instrumental in securing. So just want to share that it really has something for everyone. We have a little snapshot of some of our exhibiting companies, but Jennifer, did you want to just mention Jennifer Buckley's talk?
Yeah, Jennifer Buckley is the chief scientist for the International Space Station. So we're excited to be touching base with our aerospace roots there. Like Raj said, going to Indy is a bit of a different turn for us. And it's because we're all about bridging industries through innovation, like IACMI is. We're about technical excellence above all else, and that requires proactive adaptation. And so looking at that from the other industries, I think is really, really important. And I think you'll see that reflected throughout all of our content that we have, is that we're mixing these worlds together. And I think it's also really interesting to note that we have committees of volunteer members, and our members, of course, are the engineers and the academics in the industry. They choose where we're going and why we're going there. And so we feel very confident that this is going to be a great experience. Plus, we're right at the beginning, like Dale said, of the Indy 500. So there's going to be qualifying. There's going to be all sorts of stuff going on in the week that we're there. So we really get to see this technical excellence in action. So it's more than just the seminar. We're getting a complete experience out of this one. So very excited to get there and experience all of this. And we'll see that in the tours and the tutorials as well. But yes, we have Jennifer Buckley from NASA, and then we have Dr. Ekinyemi from Cummins, and he's going to be talking about sustainability. And then we have the student posters and contests, which Kim shared with me was her favorite part of Sampi is the student interaction and the student engagement. And that's all I've heard is you've got to go see the student contest.
Right.
So I'm very excited about that too.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jennifer, for all that background. And I think, you know, you said a great thing. Our volunteers, our volunteer leaders who are very involved. Dale's also very involved. He's may not be a specific volunteer leader on our leadership group, but you know, we have Dr. Brian Rice is on the webinar I saw from UDRI. He's been very instrumental over the years in helping us. How do you define the best programming for the community? And I think that's part of it in my job, you know, to make sure our programming is very relevant and current. And I think that's what this presentation is going to be about. We're just going to give you a brief overview of the variety of the programming. And I know for IACMI, Dale and Kim, workforce development is huge for you guys. And you have so many great programs in that. And I think that's the link, you know, for the student contests and posters. You're going to see a lot of our future stars there. So it's really the family piece comes out, because once they go through us, they're going to either go through one of the great IACMI programs and get the training that they need to enter the workforce. Next slide, Kim.
Yeah, unless he's changing that, I'd say that the bridge building competition is indeed, you know, popcorn viewing, literally, activity.
Yeah, Dale, thanks
Because
for
you
that.
grab a bag of popcorn and sit and watch the bridges being
Watch them,
tested.
all the hard work of the students who built them, actually the students from teams around the world, and then watch them break them, or try to break them. So this year, I think, Jennifer, we have a couple of new sponsors for our bridge building, and I think that's pretty great. I know Stratasys is one. Who was the other one?
Shimazu?
Shimatsu, yeah. So it's going to be one of our highlights right on the show floor, right in between the aisles. You're going to walk, Michelle, for us and see everything going on at one time. But we're very pleased, as Jennifer mentioned, Rolls-Royce is going to be a very, it's a different tour. We haven't done this in the past. The week after, or a Saturday or Sunday after we culminate, Dallara is going to be much busier than we are, but we're going to be able to tour their facility. And I think what's very neat about that is Purdue University has a new center at Dallara. So folks who are interested in coming out for the tours, you can see that. And then obviously one of our anchors is the Purdue tour. One thing we have to remember is that the tours, the staff folks and the volunteer leaders decided to move everything to Monday. So as you travel in, because we start on the Tuesday, but as you travel in on the Monday, we have a little bonus for you. So you can do the tours, you can do some of the tutorials. Instead of on the rush on the latter end, you might have a little more traffic getting out or getting into Indianapolis. So that was intentional. And this is something we're going to want your feedback on. How does this work for folks having the tours and tutorials up front? Jennifer, did you want to add anything about any of the tutorials?
No, I think you're doing a good job with all of that. I know that people are looking forward to, I think IACMI in particular, the secure top talent and be top talent, really helping people understand how to position themselves best in the market. So I think that that's going to be a really popular one. But again, all fantastic. Right. Presenters and subject matter.
Thank you. And when we had Ashad do the tutorial last time we had him involved at the CAMEX, we had an ed session that was overflowing with over 100 folks. So we said, okay, AI is very important to all of our community, so why not offer it as a tutorial? And don't forget, folks, the tutorials are actually pretty intense. I believe the average time is 3 hours, so you're going to really get a great briefing into the topic. IDI is behind the SMC tutorial, so we're very pleased to have the tutorial plus a tour of their facility. So that's going to be also really neat. Next slide, please. This was something that I think Dale had mentioned earlier, a lot of Jennifer Pelkey also mentioned it, the technical excellence. So SAMPE has what we call our technical committees. In addition to the great chapters throughout the country and actually throughout the globe, we have technical committees that now meet virtually. So anyone on this call and others can participate on that. And what's happening is, all 5 of our technical committees decided to team and come together on this topic. We heard from Michelle about the materials that are needed to reinforce our composites. And this is, a deep dive into that. So we have that, but we traditionally know that, the composites are the toughness piece of it is what we're trying to see. Is there another way to improve that? Typically they're not as tough as we want. So this is going to be something that all the technical committees are contributing to, and you're going to get some very different viewpoints. So we're very pleased that one of the featured panels is going to include Dr. Felix Chen of our bonding and joining technical committee, along with many other colleagues. I believe we also have someone from Worthington Pressure Vessels on. So we make sure that it's going to be an industry plus an academic type of panel of experts. Next slide, please. Again, some of the featured content that we wanted to highlight. As I mentioned, Brian Rice of UDRI has been a longtime supporter. He and I talked at the IACMI member meeting. That member meeting is pretty exciting. There's a lot going on. So Brian and I talked at the last one while we were at the great event at the zoo. And Brian agreed to put together this panel. We're going to have Joby involved, a couple of other industry folks involved. And even though with all the happenings in the world and in our government and in DC with hydrogen, I don't know if folks read about the Airbus announcement recently. They might shift focus from hydrogen-propelled aircraft either way, SAMPY's constant. We're focusing on the technology, what needs to happen, how we can store, how we can transport, because either way, whatever is happening now, at the end of the day, this could have potential huge impact for our industry, and reducing emissions and the environment is going to be very important no matter what, the administration or whatnot. So we're very pleased to continue to focus on the science and on the technology. I know Jennifer Pelkey mentioned that before, the innovation. Innovation is needed, and that's where something like this is going to really help. Next slide, please. This is another one of our featured content that is sponsored by our Materials for Extreme Environments Technical Committee. So, space travel and commercial space travel, everything that's went forward once SpaceX was able to the reusable rockets. I think things are changing now. So we're very pleased to focus on this technology and talk about what equipment is needed out there. A lot more of this information, Jen, I know is available on our website.
Yes,
So if you go,
absolutely.
if you go to our website, I believe there's a conference tab. You click on that and you can navigate and find the actually full description of the panel. Next slide, please. This panel. We talked to our great friend Steve Nolette from TPI, and Steve said, you know what, whatever we can do to think about big picture factory waste, let's do that. It's not just the wind blades, what happens with our blades at end of life, but I think this overarching panel will be really interesting to see big picture view. I can't recall offhand who else is involved on this, but as I mentioned, it's right on our sampyamerica.org website, and you can look at the details on it. But very pleased to have this featured content available on sustainable pathways for composite manufacture. Next slide. This is going to be really interesting, Dale. I'm going to put you on the spot too. But I think when we started to talk about this, we thought, giving folks real life examples or case studies or experiences would be very helpful, because, when folks hear about Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence, many of our small medium manufacturers don't know where to start. Dale, is that fair to say that, this panel is designed, this session is designed to really give some solutions to our colleagues?
You are correct.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're also looking for feedback from our audience. It's going to be an interactive workshop, or session. And we'll be asking folks to tell us where they think the holes are, the gaps that need to be plugged, and we'll convey that message to the government sponsors that we have to hopefully secure some funding to go help solve those.
Dale,
connect those dots.
Dale, I was just going to ask some of the experts involved, because it is quite, 3 hours, but there's going to be a lot of interactivity. So don't think you're going to just sit there and listen. We're going to actually, this session is going to be very interactive, where we're going to ask you for your input. Some of the experts involved from Oak Ridge, I believe, yourself and others. Is that correct? Or
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So we're really looking forward to this. This is a little different from us. Previously at Long Beach, we worked with our friends at the at HFTO, and I believe Asha D was on this webinar also, and she was at that office in the past. So she helped us put together a great session on the hydrogen fuel cells technology office. So kind of following that along to make sure our programming is relevant and current. And as we said, smart manufacturing is going to be really important as the nation competes with the global community. Next slide, please. And I believe this may be one of towards our end of our focusing. We're coming near the hour, but again, this is another one of our panels put together by our technical committees. And I know Julia Baroda Robles is behind this. She is the chair of our thermoplastics technical committee. So she's going to be talking about this, enabling high rate manufacturing with induction welding insight. And I know we recruited a lot of folks from industry for this. So this is going to be a really good one. for Julieta, it's very important on the thermoplastics composite repair. We may not be covering all this here, but I think you're going to have a chance to meet one of our leaders who's not only involved in that, but I believe she's with the NRC in Canada. So it's going to be great access. And that's one of the things, Jennifer. Folks, you're going to be able to talk and meet these folks, not only on the exhibition floor, but during the sessions, you can, go directly to our colleagues and ask them what they're doing and what they need. So I think that's another great value of SAMPE conference. And we have the last slide, maybe?
Yeah, the last slide is a bit of a first look for what we've got coming up. So it looks like maybe there was a little too much good news to be contained on just one slide, but we've got Seattle coming up next year. So start planning for SAMPE April 27th through the 30th in Seattle for 2026, and then Salt Lake City for 2027. And that's May 17th through the 20th. So we'll have all that information on our website, and we'll be communicating all about those, but we're really excited to share where we're going moving forward. And then just a last couple of notes. I know our early bird pricing has ended, but if you are a government employee that is having trouble with the travel bans, we have some special accommodations for you that you can check out on our website. And also we have something called the SAMPE Experience for local drive-in traffic. We have our Thursday is a half day. We've got special pricing for that, and we have a full slot we have our Breakfast Awards keynote with Dr. IACMI, when we've got all sorts of panels and whatnot going on that day. So we have some special pricing to get the SAMPE Experience and come in and check it out. So check out our website for more.
Thank you,
All right,
Jennifer. I
well-
think that's the key. We're really being very open-minded and flexible with the community. We want you all to participate in whatever manner you would like. Our students, luckily, there's a large number of universities in the area. Dale, we might have to ask you, since this is your neighborhood, just to encourage everyone to attend. Waiting for a CAMX is great, but we're here now, so we really want you to participate. Dale, did you have any comments or questions for us?
No, I think that's great. How many exhibitors have you got? Are you up to now? Do you know roughly?
Jennifer, I believe it's near 200. Is that
It's
about
just
right?
under 200. Yep, we're just under
All
200.
right. Yeah, I noticed you got all the brand names there. All the
Yes,
big
we
brands
do.
are there. And so.
All
Yes.
our longtime supporters, and we've got some new ones in there for you too. So
Yeah, and the other thing I know is that I think all the hotels are really within walking distance
yes,
of
yes,
the convention center. Sometimes you get to, you get to an event like in San Diego or in Seattle, and you're an Uber right away.
right. And I think it's also important that we do have a block, so don't think that you're going to get walloped by Indy 500 pricing. We do have a block that maintained rates, so don't worry about that. But get in there and book it soon.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you so
excellent.
much.
And of course, what I see out there, going back to Seattle, that'll be great, because the last time I was in Seattle, that new center was nice.
Yep.
And,
We're back at the summit.
Never go wrong with Salt Lake, because it's a little late for, well, it's not totally late for skiing. You probably still get on Stobart, but May is pretty late, but the hiking will still be pretty good at that time of year too. But yeah, Salt Lake's a beautiful city as well.
Yes, it is.
Look forward to welcoming everybody in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Dale, we're very excited. I can tell you are also, IACMI is a huge part of SAMPE, so we're really looking forward to all the programming you're going to do. I know you're on Spotlight Theater also on the show floor, so there's going to be some of that. We have Dr. Beckwith's, may he rest in peace, his memorial track, and there's going to be some really neat sessions in there. There's one on the bridge contest, on basically the trade secrets that I believe Dr. Clem Heel is going to talk about. So there's nuggets of gold throughout our programming, and you'll never, looking at the website is great. I know Jennifer's team's done a great job, but you really have to experience it. It's going to be, I believe, my fourth one, and I'm really pleased that our team and the great volunteers we have put together this outstanding program. Yeah,
for the last 12, 15 years, SAMPE has really come back very strong, and it's been great to see the ascension again.
Thank you,
Looking
Dale.
forward to continuing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We're at the top of the hour. You guys have closed it out perfectly on time. I want to thank everybody for your attendance to this edition of Innovation Insights, and be sure to join us on May 12th, and we'll have another fabulous program then. Thanks again to all of our speakers and our presenters. We appreciate all the support that you provide to IACMI, and hopefully you'll get great value out of what you did today and your continued membership. So thank you very much all. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, everyone.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you there. Bye. Bye.